one of the things that after you get your NAICS code, you get your business set up, you have all your things together, I want to talk about building your capabilities presentation. So the capabilities presentation is, I always say, it's your nonverbal representation of your company, so that your capabilities presentation was forwarded from one contract officer who said, hey, I'm looking for an 8A company who can stand up a daycare office at the Marine Corps at the Pentagon. That's truly happened. Or I'm looking for a small business, woman-owned IT company. Or I'm looking for a veteran-owned company for a project we have at Walter Reed for lubricants, medical lubricants. So I need someone to do that. You have any recommendations? Or I need this someone to do marketing for us that can really target Gen Z or millennials. Oh, I have someone who's great with that. So this program capabilities presentation is the document that you share with your contract officers, or just circulate or have on your website when people want to know about you. These are all of our NAICS codes. Our highlights 27 years experience. We've done 30 million in total contracts. That's government and corp and commercial. The number of on our team, how many projects we've received, awards we received. Then we go to all the clients that we've served. Now this is proprietary to us. So these are all the contracts and companies that we work with. We work with Vectrus, Acellus as a sub. We work with Army National Guard, DMA, FEMA, Peace Corps. I mean, we've done everything. CMS, NIST, Health and Human Services, you name it. We work with a lot of federal agencies. We do program design, management, and consulting. That is now what we are now have morphed to. This is me a few years ago when we won one of our larger contracts, which is with the DOD. We stood up 3 offices for the Marine Corps. We stood up their Future Operations Office, doing future operations, or FOPS is basically military operations for the future. You may hear this if you're in a political circle, in the military circles. And we also worked and managed all of the general officers. So typically in our space, we play with senior level officers more so than mid-level officers. So we deal with 3-star, 4-star generals, setting a lot of military briefings. Some good, some like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Nobody knows, so we got to keep this secret. And so for us, we do a lot of strategy work. Like, we're thinkers. That's the big advantage of us as a marketing company. We talk about the process we use. We do a needs assessment. We were able to do that, provide a different approach to learning, because as a business owner, I get what other business owners want instead of someone who is just a trainer and doesn't understand business and doesn't understand what business owners need and what they really require to take their business to a next level. It's almost like before I was a mom, I had no idea. Like, I was like, why is she at home all day? She's not really doing any work. Now I'm a mom. I'm like, oh my God, I could not do it. And people have 3 and 4 kids. So you just understand things differently when you are in that space and that place. And what we did with this project was really birthed out of that. And we tried our very best to get feedback from the business owners, from you. That's why we're always saying, how do we do? Needing approval, needing validation. Like, nah, that's not so good. Here's areas of improvement, because we're constantly perfecting. And then what we do is, these are all the services that we provide. So when you're doing your capabilities presentation, and there's a lot of services that we do with this contract, offer some pull-out quotes from the CEO, from yourself, about what's important to you. And then put in some quotes from your clients and your customers, why they like you, why they think you're so great, why they think you're terrific, right? That's really important. And then we put together like our process of how we do things. We evaluate. We don't do anything without evaluating. We don't just start and create something, a process, a program, a curriculum, without understanding what worked and what did not work. We want to know how to bring in what was good, leave out what wasn't. Then we look at our relevant and recent past performances. What we did from start to finish, like everything that we did from establishing the program, you beautiful people, using you. I love when I see the photos on social media of all you, and just really adding that throughout your capabilities presentation. We were able to move PR numbers when it came to media. We did some earned media outreach, and we had one of the markets was struggling, didn't have enough participants. We were able to literally triple their number of participants through this program and through our marketing efforts, right? And then we also took that and we do the management of recruitment. So we do everything. That is program management. And then we talk about just some case studies. We put live links in the capabilities presentation. So the contract officer is able to see what we're doing, how it's working. We recap, we do infographics. We tell a story in our capabilities presentation. And then the final phase is let's chat. And this is the IGS team. We did an annual meeting a few years ago. So this is all of us at our annual meeting in DC. We almost got hit and ran over because the photographer, who's very ambitious, cleared the streets, and we all ran into the streets to take this picture. It was very exciting day. So this is just a sample of one of our capabilities presentation. I wanted to give you a snapshot so you have something to look at while you're building out your capabilities presentation, because that's going to be important for you to be able to, just see something. Like, give me a sample. I want to see what it should look like and the level of quality it should be. Typically, when we put this capability presentation out, we don't have any problems with people who understand that, okay, they know what they're doing. And then to really do the 1-2 punch, what we'll do is we'll give them a list of all of the contracts, and we make it look pretty because people like pretty stuff. We'll do all the agencies, all the contracts we won, their contract numbers, all of the dollar amounts, and the grand total of how much it is, because it's important for people to know that and this can be verified through FPDS, which is the website that houses all government contracts awarded. So if you want to look at a competitor, if you say, I want to know what Ogilvy made, how many contracts they were awarded last year, how much money they did, their contract numbers for any expiring contracts, you can go to FPDS. I dropped the link in the email in the chat, and you can put in their competitor's name and see all their contracts, all their awards. And then you can go and actually search that contract number and see what the work was and the scope was, and write your capabilities according to that scope of work. That's why I would tell you to start. But in your capabilities, use this as a template. I showed you the outcome of what ours looks like with all the pretty and the bells and whistles, but use this as a template for a checklist. So you have your cover slide. It's always great to come up with a theme for your capabilities presentation. You don't want to say JA Motors capabilities presentation. You want to say JA Motors, we build cars. That's what I'm giving you from a marketing perspective. Make it engaging. Make people want to read it. Make it be a story. Tell your story. You put your logo, your contact information. A great introduction is priceless. Like how you started your business. I was a working mom, working and self-taught marketing, decided to go back to school, get my marketing degree. That's how I started 14 years ago. Now we have a staff of 12 people. We have managed 4 contracts, 2 for commercial business, 2 for government. We're ready to take it to the next level. We see that your agency and the work that we've done are simpatico, are a great compliment. We love to seek and pursue opportunities in your agency. Even if you want to say, if you're a company, you do let's say you do $500,000 a year and you want to do work and you see opportunities with them, I would suggest don't go after no $5 million contract, because you're not going to be able to get it. But start with the $500,000. Say we look forward to either working on small initiatives to get our, to build past performance. People love that because they know with the smaller companies, they're really going to put their energy and their effort and their commitment behind you, right? You're going to work harder for them, right? And then you could say, and we also look forward to teaming, because a lot of times with some of these larger government contract vehicles, they need to have a subcontractor component. And so they may say, well, you know what? Hey, Booz Allen, we have a company that's really great and they are specific in the space of maternal health. We think you should, not that they can't tell Booz Allen to hire you, but a referral from the contract officer basically is you need to hire them. So this is a really good opportunity for for you to start building relationships, establish your credibility. It's, one of the things that I don't do because it's just not my personal nature. My nature is more humble. That's just how I was raised. But to go into the room and say all the stuff that we've done, why we're so great, all of my experience, all the contracts that I've sit in. I mean, like, it's just not my way. But you can do that strategically in your capabilities presentation. Like we did it with that snapshot when I said we've done 100 plus contracts. We have a global team. We have the average experience of our team combined is probably 200 plus years. So there's a way to throw your weight and establish credibility without always being the person who comes in the room who's, oh my God, I'm so fabulous. I have all this experience because, they present a certain way and they may not have as much experience as you. Don't play yourself down. Make that in your first 2 pages, your first 3 pages. After you put who you are, put why you deserve to be here. Say, okay, wow, this company is ready for prime time. But that's important because we live in this social media time where people are always saying how fabulous they are and how much they've done. And sometimes they haven't done anything. You have actually done it because you would not be here. The SBA and your program manager would have not have picked you if you were not supposed to be here. So you deserve to be here. Establish that credibility. You can always do it in a way that's regal and classy without saying like, yeah, you had 2 million, but I also had 15 million last year. So what's the deal? But this is your time. Put that in establish your credibility. Put your company overview. Put the history. I started a company in a small office in my home. It was me and my wife, or it was me and my husband, it was me and my partner. Now we have an office that's on 16th Street. Is 20 of us. We do training. We have this much experience and work. We built this business year after year. We got better and better and better. Put your core values. For us, our core values at IGS is innovation, service, and excellence. That is where our sweet spot is. We do not dwell on anything that's outside of that. Innovation, keeping it fresh and creative and future focused, and service, always being available for our clients, always providing good service. And in excellence, if it's you've seen the level of quality of what we try to produce for you, so that's the level of what we bring to all of our projects. Put your mission and your vision. What is your vision for your company? My vision for IGS is that we create innovative strategies and provide creative solutions by listening to creating programs that are audience focused and audience centric. Not necessarily what I want to do, not necessarily sometimes how the agency may do it, but we do have to reach a happy median, but to provide the best value and the best product that's going to really benefit people and change their lives, to grow their businesses, to build their community, to build their families, create generational wealth. That's why we do this. It is not just to get paid, although some people think that, but it's really to bring service and offering to all of the participants. That's very important to me. So when I go on to where I'm going to go on to, then I can say, oh, I did a good job helping small businesses get their businesses, building their families, and creating generational wealth. That's why we do this. Adding the core competencies of your business, putting your team expertise. I'm good. My team is great. Add that. Add information about Christy's experience managing, $500 million clients and companies that in your team and their certifications and their MBAs and their PhDs. Put that because people know that you are hiring or you have people who have the experience to do the work. One of the things that I forgot to mention is when I started bidding on contracts, even as an 8A company, I hired directly from Ogilvy. The salaries were substantial, but I hired from Ogilvy. I hired from Booz Allen. Most people don't know that. They just assume you're a small business. Everybody on your team is small. They don't have experience. That is not true for IGS. We hired top-notch people because we knew in order to compete with larger companies, we had to have the same thing they had. We had to have the talent. We had to have people who worked on contracts for the Army National Recruiting Campaign. That's almost $1 billion. We had to have people who built out learning modules for Abercrombie and Finch. Right? So that is the team that you get when you hire IGS. Talk about those team members. Talk about your key personnel. Give case studies. and put together projects and a project and client list, what you've done. Talk about your experience. These are some of the things that you want to put in your capabilities presentation. And then you can always shorten your capabilities presentation to like 10 pages or 5 pages, depending on the work, depending on how much time you have. And some of these things can be consolidated. But in your master capabilities presentation, you put all of this information about what makes you better to hire than someone else. That's what it comes down to. Why do I want to date and marry Shirley Nolan more so than date and marry Christy Jones? So that is what you have to put. Why me? You're telling them why me in your capabilities presentation.